Um, Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inspiring Individuals Talk Show. Today, I'm inviting Suma Mudan, who is an accomplished individual as a renowned tax consultant, company secretary, yoga practitioner, and landscape designer in the USA. Hello, Suma. Welcome to our Inspiring Individuals Talk Show.
Hi Lakshmi, how are you?
I'm very fine, Suma. Thanks for asking. How are you? How are things around?
Things are good, but except for Texas being in the red hot zone again, and we are trying to be very careful. But other than that, I think things are as normal as can be during this part of the year.
I'm sure you are trying to be safe and wearing all the masks and following all the rules.
Definitely. My mask is right here, always on hand.
Good to
Because
know.
if I have somebody at the door, I don't go out without the mask.
That's a very good practice, which
Yeah.
we are trying to implement in India as well.
Yeah.
I have known you for a couple of years, more than a couple of years, in fact, and you've been one of my role models while growing up. Have you made the choice being a yoga practitioner at this point?
So back in India, I was, to start with, I was just an accountant. I did just a graduate degree in like commerce, like millions of other people. I worked as an accountant, and then again, life happened. I was a young divorcee, and I went and did my yoga teachers training at the time from Shivananda Ashram in Kerala, and I started teaching. But then I also decided that I need to get more credentials to move forward in life. And I also needed something that I have to focus and concentrate. So the personal failure, so-called failure of my marriage will not bring me down. So I jumped into doing ACS, which is Associate Company Secretary course. So in those days, I qualified as a full-fledged company secretary in 89, 90. In those days, throughout India, for a population of 1.1 billion or 1 billion at that time, there were only like 10,000 company secretaries. It was still new. Chartered accounting was very popular. Cost accounting was somewhat, but company secretary was not that popular. So they were probably around 10,000 people, and imagine how few women there were. But I and my friend were one of the few who worked very, very hard to qualify and pass all the exams and become company secretaries. And then I also did something that was not very popular or very heard of for a woman to do. I was a stockbroker in Hyderabad Stock Exchange.
Whoa.
And then I also worked as all-in-one for a US software company in Hyderabad that's based in the US. And during all these things, because of my personal emotional trauma, I also reached out to become a volunteer at a suicide prevention society in Hyderabad. And that actually opened my eyes to lot more pain than I thought I went through. So I worked there as a volunteer for a couple of years, and then I had decided to come to visit US because of some personal issues that I wanted to take care of. But I did not get the visa because I was highly qualified. I was young divorcee, and they said, "You're going to go there and not coming back." And I said, "Never. I will never leave India. I will never stay there." And then I went to an international conference, suicide prevention conference in the UK. And from there, I came to the US for a visit. They gave me a visa for 4 weeks. Then I came here, and I had to stay back here to take care of my brother. And then there was a lot of struggle for many years. Very I didn't have anything. I left in the middle of my life in Hyderabad, and I came here. And I had to start from scratch with no money, no US credentials, nothing, no visa. but that was a big struggle. So I decided to do something. I had to find a way to stay here to take care of what I came here for. So I decided to go to a couple of universities and beg them to take me. But as you know, probably you're aware like how expensive it is to go to graduate school here. So I had not a penny. And I went to a law school in Columbus, Ohio, where I was staying at that time. And I started meeting the dean and the head of the department. And then I worked for like 5-6 months, going there every couple of days and telling them my life story and asking them for help. And finally they said, okay, let's see if your credentials allow us to give you admission in LLM, Masters in Law. So I went and got my credentials evaluated, both my ACS and my BCom, and they said I had enough hours in law and accounting to qualify admission into the LLM course. So they gave me admission, but then I didn't have any money to pay for the tuition, and tuition was like $500 a credit, one credit, and I had to do like 60-70 credits to qualify to do my graduate course. So again, I went back with my begging bowl and impressed upon them that it is in their own interest to help me. Finally, they gave me a job to work there. They waived the tuition for me. And it's, I think like behind all of this, I also had a spiritual, like, what do you call it? Strength, because I was a disciple of Swami Dayananda for many, many, many years. And he was there to give me the moral strength to fight these battles. I can't say that I did it all alone. Mm-hmm. It was very tough. It was extremely tough to coming from Hyderabad to stay in a cold place like Columbus and to go through so many traumas and to go to a law school full time. But I did have the spiritual backing to find that inner strength. Then I decided as a driven person, I decided, okay, there are, US has the highest number of lawyers, so I don't think I'll get a job. So I decided to go and do a CPA. CPA is equivalent to CA in India. Since my accounting credits were enough for me to take the exam, I went and got I studied the course, and I had to switch from the Indian terminology to the US, and somehow within 2 years I finished my LLM, I finished my CPA, so I was very highly qualified. So much that when I started going for interviews, they started asking me, oh, it looks like you didn't know what to do with your life, so you studied so many things. So then I started like removing some of the things from my resume and just putting like 1 or 2 things. So then again, it was a big struggle with immigration. I could not get immigrant status here for many years, struggled. But I got, after a couple of years, I worked for an Indian software company as a recruiter, and that was not a pleasant experience. But then I found a real job in tax law. I specialized in global tax. So I found a real job, and with a very big renowned US company. And so I started working, and then things started improving. Then I found a job in Big 5. In those days, it was Big 7. Then it became Big 5. Now it is Big 4. Deloitte and Touche, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I worked. I got a job in in those days, it was Coopers and Lybrand. Later on, it became PricewaterhouseCoopers. So that was my first real job. And then afterwards, like, things fell into place. So I worked as a tax attorney mostly. I hardly used my CPA qualification. So I worked as a tax attorney for many years for accounting firms, and also I worked in-house for US corporations, heading their global tax planning and compliance. So I had like a taste of both. And then another big calamity happened. My office was in World Trade Center, and 9/11 happened while I was in the building. So we went through a very, very traumatic experience looking at all those people jumping from the building and dying. It took us almost 1 year to get out of that, and even to like forget the smell of the ashes, the smoke in my nose. It took us like, we went through counseling, and Deloitte was very, very supportive. So they provided us with a lot of counseling and all that. And then after that, I decided enough of New York City. I will move back to the countryside. And I also decided to get married to, uh, fortunately, after all these years of, having to go through all these things, I fortunately found a great person. And again, my spiritual guru, Swamiji, talked to both of us to make sure that we have the compatibility. And we got married, and we moved to the rural Pennsylvania. But we both had, he was also a consultant. We both had, and in the meantime, after I quit Deloitte, actually I did not quit. They laid me off because Anderson happened and market was flooded. 9/11 happened, economy tanked. So a lot of people were laid off, and I was one of those. And I decided to hang my shingle and become a consultant. And I approached one of my clients, and all my clients were like Fortune 500 companies while I was at Deloitte. So I approached one of my clients. It so happened the timing worked. He was in Netherlands, and he was just coming back to the US to head the tax department. And he said, can you help me redefine my tax department, my global tax? So I said yes. And that was the beginning of my consulting. And I was a very successful consultant. I worked from home. I recruited people as needed. Companies like AT&T, they were all my clients. And I was a consultant, independent consultant for about 10, 12 years. Then we moved to Texas. And since all my contacts were back there in the East Coast, it took me time to find anything. And then I started working in a company, and I decided the commute is too much and the stress is too much, and I didn't like the work anymore, because I said, I'm doing all this, I'm working 10, 12 hours just to help companies save on their taxes and make more money, and probably I should do something better with my life. So I regrouped. I took time to see what I want to do, and yoga was always at the back of my mind, because I had very poor health as a youth, as a young person, and yoga helped me with that. And throughout the years I practiced, I taught a little bit. So, but I always went back to yoga. So then I decided maybe I should start teaching yoga, because it will help a lot of people. And again, since I was entering my middle age, now I call 50s are the youth of old age. So, and then I decided to go and do another teacher's training. Texas is very well known for having the world's largest medical center. They have, and it's people come from all over the world for cancer treatment. And so I went to a medical area and got one more teacher's training in yoga, but this time the focus was on therapy. So I thought, I should focus on teaching people who have specific health issues, rather than just this teaching in the gyms and teaching group classes and, teaching yoga like a workout. I didn't want to do that. So it took me a while to establish my niche. I've been teaching full time for 5 years now, and this year I have been teaching a lot more. So now I have private students who are cancer survivors, who have a lot of musculoskeletal issues like hip pain, back pain, shoulder pain, anxiety, depression, And we are thinking that after the COVID, the next wave will be depression, because a lot of people, especially in big cities, they are going through hell because they have matchbox apartments. They can't get out. They can't do anything. Previously, they used to just go to work, come back, and just to sleep. Now they are in their cooped up apartments, and some of them have roommates. So it's getting to them, and I think it will be the next wave, and they will need a lot of help. So that's what I've been doing. And I also teach group classes, theme-based group classes. For last 2 months, I've been teaching yoga for weight management, because a lot of people are complaining that now that they are stuck at home, working in front of the computer, so many hours, not moving, they end cooking 3 times a day for their families and themselves. And the only walk they are doing is from the desk to the refrigerator or to the kitchen. So they are all complaining that, oh my God, we are packing pounds. So I decided, okay. And women, mostly in my age bracket, and even young women, we need weight training to build muscle, to get rid of fat deposits, and also to build bone strength. So I experimented. This is the first time I did that. I started the first class in May, and I had 3 doctors in my class. And we did yoga with weights, free weights, and they seemed to like it. I did it again in June, and they came back for more, and they want me to continue that class. So in July, I'm starting 4 new themes. Yoga for toning will continue, but I am also doing yoga for stress relief and sleep, because a lot of people are going through severe stress. It's not just physical, it's emotional. Because to give you an example, because you are also in the human psychology area, they're saying that because of this stay at home, the crime has reduced. The gunshot wounds in the US has reduced, but what went up is domestic violence. So because people are at home together for such a long time, it's getting to them. They are getting on each other's throats, each other's faces, and it's tough, you know. You are a young mom, you have young children, and children, when they go to school for 9 to 3 or whatever, you have a respite. If you are working from home, or if you are a stay-at-home mom, you have your time to do your stuff. But now they don't. The kids are at home all the time. You have your work, they have their Zoom lessons. So people are getting crazy. And what is your experience last couple of months?
My experience over the last couple of months, yes, domestic violence has increased a lot. And I keep hearing it among friend circles, on Facebook and everywhere. And, you know, the helpline numbers being published time and again to ensure that we are there to help you. Having said that, I think people also have to find the inner strength, which you have mentioned, and also look at how they can build themselves rather than take a singular incident and go down with it. So now when I look back in your journey and so many phases of your journey, I see hope, motivation, and also the spiritual connect that you have. If I have to ask you about the spiritual connect, I see that, you know, many of them think spiritual connect at a very surface level. So if you have to really connect with it and ensure you identify your inner strengths and inner calling with it, what do you have to do? What is it that 1 or 2 things that a person has to focus on?
So that's a great question, and it's also close to my heart. Like lot of people, especially people coming like I did from India, we feel that we get mixed up between religion and spirituality. So we think that doing rituals like puja or whatever you do, visiting temples, that is spirituality. It's not. Spirituality is something that you that helps you grow as a person, mature as a person. I had the great fortune to meet Swamiji when I was going through my divorce. I met him, and he was always there. And I attended a lot of Vedanta courses. So people, when we talk about, have you attended any Vedanta courses? Have you read Vedanta? Do you know Gita? They'll say, oh, I'll do it after I retire. I'm too young to do that. No, you're not too young. You have to start young. You have to start. I believe strongly that Bhagavad Gita is such a great psychological text. It is like it lays out very clearly the psychology of a person and how you can tackle situations, life situations. It's not like if you learn Vedanta, you are above this. And the other thing is that some people say, oh, you should quieten your mind, you should stop thinking when you meditate. No, that's not the issue. The mind is like, thoughts are like the waves in the ocean. You can't ask the ocean to stop waves and be still. The mind is like that, So it's nature. What we learn from like going to study Vedanta is learn how to handle the emotions, not getting rid of the emotions. We will not get rid of the emotions. We are human beings. It's our nature. It's the inherent nature. But we will learn how to handle and how to come out of that quicker. So if somebody close to you passed away, it is very, traumatic. But what Vedanta teaches you is not, it doesn't tell you don't feel pain. It doesn't tell you, you should not. It's wrong to cry. No, do that. But it will also tell you, look at the other side. Okay, you are going through pain, but look at the other side. The person passed away. The person, he or she lived, whatever. But it's your time now to pass on, to do other things, and to keep those memories, to cherish those, to cherish your time. It also teaches us that you have to use the time you have as much as you can, because you will never get back time. So that's what Vedanta teaches. And everybody, no matter, even if the kid is 5 years old, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, you should get into a spiritual connection, because that will help us when you are not able to reach out to another person for help. You can reach out within yourself. So you have that well of strength within yourself. So that's what spirituality does.
Very well said, I would say. In my psychology classes and in the psychology courses, I also learned mind and body are the same. So, and I have also experienced that, how we conduct with our body, it goes to our mind and vice versa. So I have also heard you say that, emotions are not going to go away and we have to learn to deal with them, and how to quickly come out of our not okay states or unresourceful states. So what do you recommend? That spiritual connection is one. And if we have to look at other gamuts in life, so what do you recommend that we look at, or how do we conduct ourselves, especially in these times when during lockdown and where, a physical human connect is so rare. So how do you think each person should conduct himself or herself?
There are a few things, a few elements of what you asked that I want to address. So there is the generational aspect. Let me talk about my generation first, and then I'll talk about your generation. Like spirituality is one. The second one is when I look at my peers and when I see that they look old, they have lots of aches and pains or whatever. One thing that comes across time and again is a lot of people, after they are done with their job, even you guys, if you have a job, you're an IT person or whatever, you have a job. So after job, after your work, after your career, what is there? So you need to have a purpose. It has to be a purpose driven life, not because you want. Sometimes I'm asked, oh, you quit law practice. Like, why did you quit? That's such a lucrative thing. You were making so much money. So money is one aspect, but what is it that gives you that fulfillment, that satisfaction, that you can do something other than for yourself? So if you question yourself that, and if you do something about it, your life will be richer, fuller. Okay, there is this humanitarian aspect that you can actually give something back, that you can make a difference in a person's life. Like, you started this. Why did you start this type of consulting? Because you thought people need that inspiration to come out of their rut. People need a helping hand, emotionally, intellectually. So you wanted to do this for them. Yeah, you are making money, or you want to make money, that's fine. But there is the other human element also is combined in what you're doing. So people need to have that purpose, and it can be a hobby. And I have seen people getting very creative with their kids. More people are bringing their kids. Gardening is like taken off like anything here. Like, if you want to buy seeds, seed companies are saying we are ran out of seeds, which is a great thing. And kids are gardening, kids are cooking. Now is the time. So take time, learn what your kids are doing, learn what they want, how to enrich their lives. That will enrich your life. So it's a great opportunity. I see a lot of positive things with stay at home. People are spending more time with families, and trying to do things that they have never done before, and they never had time to do before. So even reading a book or taking up a hobby, you have those 4 hours of commute. If you're living in a city, I'm sure you're spending 3 to 4 hours on commute. So
Oh,
now you
yeah.
don't have that. Yeah, you don't have that stress of commuting, and use that time to take up something that you said, oh, I always wanted to do this. Write a blog, or interact with people, and or teach technology. If you're an IT person, teach technology to kids or to people like me who are starting their own businesses. I need a lot of help, technological help with my website. So offer that to people who want to start something, because online is here to stay, and teach them how to teach online. That's a big need now. So if you find a purpose outside of yourself, I think that will give you satisfaction, which will permeate into other parts of your life.
Yeah, the purpose part is very well summed up, and I see even organizations putting purpose in their strategy and trying to figure out and work with that. There are many examples of great organizations which have purpose, and similarly, I think individuals also have to do that. So, with this, I would like to say thank you very much for all the insights and words of wisdom that you have given us, of how you have ensured there is hope, motivation, and a spiritual connect throughout, and how you have come out with flying colors and found your purpose eventually and working towards it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. Bye bye.
Bye.